At 4:17 in the afternoon, a message appeared on my phone. Do not go to your anniversary party. You need to check your wife's basement. I read those words over and over again. My hand was steady, my pulse was calm, but a deep, internal part of me froze solid, like the surface of a pond moments before a corpse rises to the top. It was from an unknown number, a faceless gray bubble containing a sentence that knew precisely how to dismantle my life. I was in the middle of getting ready. My tie was straight, my cufflinks were in place, and I had been practicing a pleasant smile for the mirror. A decade of marriage. 10 long years of carefully constructed tranquility. Logically, this message should have seemed insane, a prank. But it didn't feel that way. Not at all. Because in the most hidden, silent corner of my soul, a part one let no one ever visit, I already understood. I had known for a while, not in a clear, conscious way, but I had known. Yet, I found myself standing frozen in the hallway of our beautiful home, staring at that one devastating line. It felt as if the message had been waiting for years to be delivered, as if someone had finally flicked on the lights in a room I had been too terrified to ever enter. So, I turned around. I walked directly toward the basement door. The old wooden stairs groaned under my weight, as if they were recalling a secret. We almost never went down there. It was her domain, her art studio, her storage, her private sanctuary. I had always respected that boundary. I believed in giving her space. Or perhaps, if I'm being truly honest, I believed in the comfort of deliberately looking away. The smell was the first thing I noticed. An overpowering, acidic odor of cleaning supplies, as if something had been feverishly, repeatedly scrubbed. And then I saw it. A second phone, partially hidden beneath some paint-stained rags on her workbench. It was still plugged in, the screen alive, and, most importantly, completely unlocked. Because people like her, people who wear a mask for so long they forget it's not their real face, never truly expect anyone to see behind the curtain. I started to scroll. The pictures came first. Him again, and then him with her. Her lips pressed against his neck. Him in our bedroom, even wearing one of my own shirts. Then I found the text messages. He has no idea. Tonight I'll just smile and pretend. Maybe next week we can finally tell him. And in that moment, the anonymous message made perfect, terrible sense. The sender wasn't trying to warn me. They were offering me a choice. I did not confront her. Not that evening, and not the following morning. I waited because I needed evidence. I required a truth so concrete, so undeniable, it would slice through every lie like a shard of ice. My first step was to clone her phone and install a tracking application. She never had a clue, because individuals like her operate under the arrogant assumption that those they deceive are incapable of looking up. Next, I discovered his name, Caleb. 16 messages had been exchanged in just the last 3 days. There were voice notes, detailed plans, and desires she had never, ever shared with me. I hired a professional. He was quiet, efficient, and specialized in discreet surveillance. He provided me with photographs of their dinners, their motel visits, their midday trysts while I was at the office. I smiled through all of it. I slept in the same bed as her, I kissed her cheek, I held her hand. Internally, I was a man burning alive without moving a muscle. And yet, I wasn't consumed by rage, not in the conventional way. For the first time in years, I was completely and utterly awake. Because once you witness the mask crumble, you stop loving the person who is hiding behind it. Just 2 days before our anniversary party, I received the final piece of proof. It was a video. It showed her and Caleb right there in the basement from weeks prior. I heard her laugh, that same artificial, breathy sound she used when we entertained guests. He still thinks I love him, she said. Caleb laughed right along with her. Poor guy, he replied. I paused the video. That specific moment, her face caught in the half-light, smiling while she lied, was permanently seared into my memory. That very night, I placed a simple manila envelope on the kitchen counter. Inside were printed photographs, text message transcripts, a log from her second phone, and a USB drive containing the video. I didn't leave a note. I didn't wait around to see her discover it. I just went to bed. She came into the room hours later, silent as a ghost. She didn't touch me. She didn't say a word. Her mask had been shattered into a million pieces, but she had no idea what kind of man had emerged from the wreckage. By 6:42 p.m., our house was overflowing with people. The anniversary celebration was at its peak. There was champagne, applause, and the constant hum of polite conversation. She was wearing a stunning red dress. It was the color of guilt, expertly disguised as festivity. I waited patiently for the perfect moment. I waited until the music faded and the time for toasts began. Then I stood up, raised my glass, and began to speak. 10 years, I said. A lot can happen in a decade. There can be lies, secrets, even renovations. A few people chuckled nervously. I locked my eyes directly with hers. But the thing about basements, I continued, speaking slowly and deliberately, is that they always hold what people are too ashamed to display upstairs. All the color drained from her face. I turned to the projector screen and pressed play. The video started. A wave of gasps swept the room, followed by a dead, horrified silence, punctuated by the sound of a wine glass shattering on the floor. Then her voice, soft, sultry, and utterly cruel, filled the entire space. I didn't watch the screen. I watched her. She didn't simply cry. She completely broke. Her mouth fell open, her hands shook uncontrollably, and she was utterly incapable of stitching together a believable lie. Caleb wasn't even there, but it no longer mattered. He was irrelevant to me now. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't engage in an argument. I simply turned and walked out the door, leaving everyone to stare at her as if she were a terrifying, new kind of monster. The air outside was cold and sharp. It didn't affect me. I couldn't feel anything anymore. No betrayal, no grief, no hatred. Just a vast, empty silence. And within that profound quiet, I found absolute clarity. She never truly loved me. She loved the man I was when I didn't ask questions, the version of me who never, ever dared to open the basement door. But I did open it. I looked inside, and I saw everything. So no, I did not stay to listen to her desperate excuses. I didn't wait for apologies woven from panic and expensive perfume. I just walked away. And with every single step I took, I felt the immense, suffocating weight she had wrapped around my neck for 10 long years finally fall away. Some truths don't set you free. They simply unchain you.